Hello and welcome to my video. If you haven't been here before, my name's Mark. I'm a 58-year-old full-time ultra distance runner, and in 6 weeks time I'm going to be running 1,000 miles through the length of the UK. So stick around and see how it's all going. This video is going to explain about my preparation, how it's all going this week. So that was a great run, and now I've had a shower and got cleaned up so we can start the video. Watch any of my other videos about this run. I'm running 1,000 miles through the UK. That means England, Wales and Scotland, 3 countries. I'm doing it for a charitable cause. I'm the only one that's running this run, and I'm going to be raising money and awareness for an organisation called Lote. Yes, they're a not-for-profit organisation based in the UK, but they have a global reach, and their aim is to get a mental health ambassador in every single rugby club across the world. How cool is that? I want to support that process, and we're using my crazy runs across countries to do that. I'm doing the UK first, and then later on this year I'm going to be running the full length of New Zealand. So stick around and make sure you watch all the drama as it unfolds as I do those particular runs. Now, the best way to do that, of course, is to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification. Every time I drop a video, then you will be notified. Now, it's been a really exciting week. Lots of stuff has happened, so let's get into it right now. So first of all, I've got some new partners on the run project, and 3 new partners in fact this week. So let's go through who each one of those are. The first one is Vodafone UK, and it's great to have Vodafone on board because they're going to be able to help my wife and I to stay in contact with each other. My wife's going to be driving the support vehicle as we go through the UK, and in case I have any emergencies, then we're going to be able to contact each other through Vodafone's service. We're also going to be uploading lots of content onto our social media platforms and our partners' social media platforms, so that you can watch the run as it unfolds across the 70 days that it's going to take me to run across the UK, the length of the UK. So Vodafone stepped up. Thank you very much, Vodafone. It's great to have you on board. I challenge any of your employees in the UK to come and join me for one of the days of my run through the UK. It'd be great to have you all there wearing your red and white shirts. So Vodafone, thank you very much. The second partner that's come on board this week is a company called MyoMaster. Now, you may not have heard of MyoMaster unless you're in the running world, but MyoMaster produce wonderful products around helping people to stay active when they're running, and in particular around recovery. So I'm going to be using their compression boots as seen here, and I'm also going to be using their massage guns. Now, these compression boots are fantastic items of equipment after my run each day, and if you remember, I'll be running more than half a marathon every single day for 70 days in a row. After every day's run, I will be able to get into these compression boots, and they're going to aid my recovery quite significantly. So really looking forward to using those. With the massage guns, they're both a recovery tool, but they're also an ignition tool. My body in the morning, and to get it activated so that I'm ready to get out there and run for the day. So great support from MyoMaster. And again, same as I said with our folks from Vodafone, get your employees to come along and join me on the run through the UK. That'll be exciting to have those people on board with us. So thank you very much, MyoMaster, as well, for your sponsorship and support of the Run for Rugby UK 2023. The third company, or third organisation I should say, that's come on board this week is Scottish Athletics, and the great team of the Scottish Athletics Federation is going to help me out with runners supporting me in Scotland as I head up through the wonderful country of Scotland and up to the finish line at John O'Groats. So they're going to help me with runners to get me through some of those difficult spots, in particular navigating my way through cities. And they're also going to share all of our content on their social media platforms to get our message out about mental health to a greater worldwide audience, and that's what this is all about. So if you can help us, make sure you tag in on Instagram, Run for Rugby 2023, because we want to share as much of our content as we possibly can to help athletes across the world. So there we go. Those are the three different organizations that have come on board this week, and a huge thank you to all of them, because without the support of the partners and sponsors on this program, it simply wouldn't be possible. I'm a self-funded full-time athlete, and if I don't have sponsorship and partnership support, then we're able to achieve very little indeed. Next up, let's talk about the week of training that it was, and I've had a very interesting week. In fact, I've picked up my first little injury this week. In fact, it only happened yesterday, and I'm just starting to manage that properly in the last 24 hours. So I got a bit of a calf strain. I jumped off a curb, as you do sometimes when you're running, and my leg went down a little bit lower than I had anticipated, and I felt a bit of a strain in my calf. I stopped running and I walked home, and have been using ice and also a recovery magnet bandage that I have, which is very effective for this sort of injury, and I've started working on that little bit of an injury. It's not too bad, but I want to be very proactive in making sure that I manage this properly so it doesn't come any bigger over time. So that was the downside of the training so far this week. I've had a very good week though when it comes to mileage and putting in a lot more miles. Been running those 2 to 3 to 4 hour runs, and feeling really good. In fact, until the injury yesterday, I was feeling really strong, and a combination of the things that I've talked about in the previous videos, with having the good core training and strength training and the mobility training, which is complementing my running. So all that seems to be working really. So my longest run this week has been around 4 hours, which was really good, and I managed that run no problem at all. But I have some fantastic news to share this week about how my preparation's going. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know I talk a lot about diet and nutrition, and that I've had a little bit of trouble dialing in my nutrition when it comes to the runs, because I'm not a big fan of the energy gels. Well, this week I started using Pop Tarts as my nutrition for my longer runs, and this idea came about from watching somebody else's YouTube channel who was a runner, and they talk about using Pop Tarts more so when they actually start running on their endurance runs, but I decided to use Pop Tarts throughout my run just to see how it goes. Now, the good thing about Pop Tarts that not a lot of people know is that they are very easily digestible, and they get into your stores very quickly for your carbs. And I thought, wow, this is a great idea to try. So I tried Pop Tarts on my 2 big long runs this week, and they worked an absolute treat. In fact, I absolutely loved them. I never really have been a Pop Tart guy before, but I'm a big fan now, and they're not sponsored, so no sponsorship associated with the Pop Tarts, but they worked really well on my long run. So I'm a big fan of Pop Tarts, and I'm going to keep pushing those down now on my longer run. So there we go. Who would have known that I would have ended up having Pop Tarts for my nutrition? Now, in addition to my running this week, I've been maintaining very good balance with my weight workouts, my core strength and mobility workouts, complementing, as I've said before about the running, very important to make sure those things work in unison. I've also got back into the swimming pool this week and started swim training again. We're getting warmer temperatures here all the time in Cancun, and it's been enabled me to get back into the water and do some good training. So I've knocked out a few Ks in the pool this week as well. I find getting in the swimming pool really good for the body. Taking the weight in the water, weightlessness in the water, is a really good feeling. It's also a bit of a recovery session as well, because the muscles get to work, but they're also in that water environment, so I find it to be really, really good. So going forward for the next month, before I really get ready to go to the UK, I'm going to be training 3 times a day. I'm going to be doing my runs in the morning, I'm going to be doing a swim session around the middle of the day, and I'm going to be doing my core strength and mobility training later on in the day. So ramping up the amount of sessions that I'm going to be doing each day. So that's working out really, really well at the moment. Now, another thing that we're experiencing at the moment here in Cancun is the weather started to get really hot again, something that my wife and I are not too happy about. But I'm running in 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, that's over 86 to 90 Fahrenheit temperature in the morning again, and it's getting very, very hot. It's not just the heat that's the problem, it's also the high humidity levels. So we've gone from those winter humidity levels of around 60 to 70% back up to the 85 and 90% humidity levels, which is very, very taxing on the body with a long run. And I notice on my heart rate monitor when I'm doing those long runs in the heat that it does spike my heart rate a little bit. So if you are a low heart rate monitor runner and you focus a lot on running to your heart rate like I do, just take that into consideration, that when you're in a hot climate you are going to see a spike in your heart rate just because of the climate. There's nothing you can do about that other than maybe slow down and start walking for a while. So yeah, the weather's getting warmer. I'm turning this into a psychological positive for me, because when I get to the UK, I've done some research to check out what temperatures I can expect when I'm doing my run through the months of May and June in the UK. And the average temperature in the UK during the month of May is around about 15 degrees Celsius, so 60 odd degrees Fahrenheit. So that's really, really comfortable, and it's half what I'm running in now. So I'm expecting that's going to be a massive advantage for me when I get into those cooler temperatures. I'm not going to find it anywhere near as oppressive as I do here in Cancun in Mexico. That I need, and I'm going to be making an additional video about the gear that I'm going to use on this run in the coming weeks, so I'll put that out there as well for you. Now, if you've been watching my channel and my videos leading up to this run, you'll know that I was originally starting the run on Monday, May the 1st, which is only 5 weeks away. But actually I've now changed the date. I've gone back 1 week, and the reason behind that is because I was contacted during the week from somebody in the UK, and they said to me, do you know that there's a bank holiday, a Labour weekend holiday on May the 1st when you were originally going to start your run? And I said, no, I didn't. And they advised me that there's going to be a lot of people going down to the area of Cornwall where I'm starting my run from. All the hotels and everything are going to be very, very busy. The roads are going to be busy. Heathrow Airport's going to be extremely busy that weekend. So we decided, look, we're not under any pressure to start this run on a certain time. Let's push it back a week. And now I'm going to be starting the run on Monday, May the 8th. And of course this run is only possible through the partnerships that we're getting through the Loosehead relationship, and also through the people that I'm reaching out to. So if you're out there and you're watching the video and you like what I'm doing and you want to support mental health and sport, one of the ways that you can do that is to give to our Just Giving page, and I've put the link in the description below to that. You can also support me on Patreon and come on board. Remember, I'm a self-funded full-time athlete trying to make a living out of this by doing these runs, but also creating an opportunity to support a good cause along the way. And this cause is all about mental health in rugby, men and women, boys and girls across the UK. Looseheads is the not-for-profit organisation that I'm supporting. They have over 800 rugby clubs on board now using their process and mental health ambassadors. So I want to make sure that that project becomes even bigger and also sustainable. So if you can help out by following my run and being inspired what we're doing, then it's greatly appreciated. So this week's been going really, really well in terms of training. As far as diet goes, I'm dialing that in as well. I've been talking a lot on this channel about my carnivore experience, then moving to keto. I'm having a few carbs, obviously. Pop Tarts have popped up in there. So really what I'm doing is a way of eating that's working for me, and that's what I suggest to everybody when it comes to their diet and nutrition plans. Find out what works best for you given the circumstances of what you're living as far as lifestyle. I live a very active lifestyle. I'm burning somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 calories a day with my training and also my natural energy needs. So I've got to make sure that I'm replenishing that in the best way that I possibly can. I find that meat is a great leveler for me. I find a good balance in my gut health and everything else when I eat a lot of meat. But I also need those carbs for fuel for when I'm running, and I'm trying to get to more of a fat adapted running process, which I'm working through with the meat and the high protein levels, but I'm also putting a few carbs in there to top it off. So if you're a fat adapted athlete out there, I'd like to connect with you and hear about how things are going for you. Very interested in that space as well. Now, someone asked me after last week's video, how many miles or kilometers will I be running each week? Well, here we are. I've put this slide together to show you how many kilometers and miles I'm going to be running on a weekly basis. As you can see, the lowest number there is 139 kilometers in a week, and the highest is 195, so well over 100 miles for that particular week. And that week of 195 miles, I'm going to be in the north of Scotland, and there's going to be a lot of elevation gain in that running week as well. So fairly steady. It works out to be around about 22 kilometers per day, just over half a marathon that I'll be running every single day. There's no rest days or recovery days in this run, so I'm going to be running 70 days in a row to complete this 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometer run. And knowing me, I'm probably going to get lost along the way, so I'm probably going to end up running a few more kilometers or miles than what I show you there. But there's the weekly breakdown, and you can see how many kilometers and miles I'm going to be running every week during this run. So there we go. It's been a really good week. I'm just nursing a little bit of an injury around this calf strain. Going to take it very easy for the rest of today and the weekend. Been a great week. Thank you again to the partners, MyoMaster, Vodafone and Scottish Athletics for coming on board this week. Fantastic to have you there, along with all the other partners, which you'll be able to see at the end of this video. And as that group of partners grows, we're going to be able to make more and more of an impact on mental health within the sport of rugby. So again, if you're an organisation that can come on board and help us out in any way, you've got 6 weeks left before we start. And of course, during the run, we're going to be welcoming more companies and partners on board as well. We'd appreciate your support. And if you're just watching my videos, well, thank you very much for doing that. Your support is appreciated. If you want to know anything specifically about my preparation for this 1,000-mile run through the UK, drop me a note in the comments, and I'm only too happy to address those in future videos. So until then, I'll say goodbye for now, and remember, stay safe, stay happy everybody, and if you can, get out there and go for a run, because who knows, it could change your life and the life of somebody else. Until next time, I'll see you soon.